now this session is recorded. So I'm just going to share with you the screen. Can you both see my screen? Health and safety for babies and young children in early years. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So now what we're going to talk about is all about the legislation for health and safety and how we manage health and safety in the workplace, in the nurseries. So if you go to this unit, which is Unit 2, let us start answering the questions. 1.1, outline the legal requirements and guidelines for health and safety. So do you know what's the legal requirement for health and safety?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Legal requirement and the legislation. So, yeah, sorry, Hiba.
I wrote some of these questions, not all of them.
Yeah, okay, excellent. Can we hear what you put there to answer the question?
Okay, first of all workers in early year setting should be responsible for children's health safety, which include reporting hazard, follow the policies and the procedure of setting for health and safety, using safety equipment, make sure all the equipment and the material are safe, not harming themselves or others by action. Then I talked about security. Too much. I wrote a lot of information. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Very good. So now if we talk about health and safety, as Hiba said, we're going to talk about how to keep the children healthy and safe in the workplace. And there are specific requirements. So if you go to EYE 2017, this is a statutory document in England, which means that it is legally enforceable on the nurseries. So legally enforceable EYEs 2017. So what we have, first of all, we have supervision and adult child relation. So the supervision and adult child relation. So what does this mean? Can you think about any examples for this? So for us as a, yeah, sorry, he wants to participate.
Yeah, for younger child needs more support from adult.
Okay, excellent. So the supervision of children and babies, we identify according to their age. Obviously, like Chino said, if they are young, they will need more supervision from us. Okay? And also staff training. We need to train the staff, as Hiba said, to take care of their children. So all staff should be appropriately qualified and trained to work with children. This should be introduced training for new staff to include health and safety issues. So the training which we give to the staff should include health and safety and safeguarding is very important, and also dealing with emergencies. So everyone is aware what to do in the emergencies to take care of the children and babies. Yes. Also, part of this legislation, which is administration of medication, which is very important because some of the babies or some of the children, they have certain medical problems. Then we need to take care of their medication, give them the medication on time. So the staff will need to be trained to administer medications, and and policies should be in place to ensure that they are stored safely. So make sure these medications stored safely so that the children will not have access to them at any time. You should be the one who's giving this medication to the children, and you should save them and store them properly.
Yes.
Up to here, are we all like clear about what we have just discussed?
Yeah, that's fine. I will come back after 2 minutes, yeah?
Yeah, sure. Now, food and drink. What does this mean? Do you know how you keep the children healthy and safe in accordance to food and drink?
Yeah, they need healthy food and healthy drink. And
yeah.
It's healthy, look like vegetable or fresh juice, and not hot food.
Okay, excellent. So food and drink, certain must know about any dietary needs for the children. So some of the children would have allergies. So they can't eat all the types of the food. So we need to know exactly which child has got allergy and towards which type of food, so we know how to deal with this. This must be an area for the preparation of food and drinks, and sterilization is important for the bottles of the babies. Obviously, you need to put it in a hot water, so you kill all the germs from the bottles, because you leave it for some time, the milk inside the bottle, so you need to sterilize it.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so that's another legal requirement. When you handle the food and drink in your work area, so you need to take care of the food hygiene. Are we clear so far? Yeah? Do you want me to repeat it, or you're clear?
We need to write it in details, or just the title, because I just wrote the titles.
Well, I would put the titles, and also I would put a little bit of explanation about each one of them. That would be good, because as I told you, CASH is a very strong awarding body. They want everyone graduates with a certificate to make sure that these people are great to work with children. So we need to explain as much as we can. Whatever we understood about the point, we put it down. Yeah?
Okay, fine.
Perfect. Now the other one, safety and security of premises. What does this mean? And how we keep safe and secure premises? Like we all know that the premises of the nursery should be fit for purpose. Like you can't use, for example, a big restaurant to take care of babies as a nursery. You need a premises which is fit for purpose. Depends on the children's age and needs. Okay. Also, it needs to comply with the health and safety regulation legislation in this country. It's very important. So the premises need to be fit for purpose for the age and the needs of the children. Also needs to comply with the health and safety legislation. For security purpose, the setting should ensure that unidentified people do not enter at all, even as visitors. So we need everyone to give him an ID before we get him in, to ask him why he's going there, what's the reason. We need to know more about this person and also give him an ID when he getting in. Okay, so unidentified people, no matter what, we can't allow them in. If they say, no, sorry, I'm not going to tell you why I'm here, I just need to meet the manager, I'll be like, I'm really sorry, I can't let you in. Yeah? For security reason, because you take care of lots of babies and children. So the premises need to be safe and secure, fit for purpose, and also need to comply with the health and safety legislation, and also unidentified people shouldn't be allowed in the premises. Are we up to here? Are we okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, one of another requirement by the law, which is risk assessment. This means checking that the environment is checked for risk on a regular basis. So we check the environment there, the premises, the garden. For example, if we take the kids to the garden, we need to do a risk assessment. Would they fall on something? Everything is safe, everything is secure. There is no risk of the children would leave the building because the door is open. You need to do a risk assessment. So risk assessment, this means checking that the environment is checked for risks on the regular basis. Okay, so for health and safety at work, also that's another legal requirement. So first of all, we said EYE's 2017, and also Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. What does this include? What the responsibilities for health and safety, which includes reporting hazard, following the policies and procedures for the setting, also using safety equipment where it's needed, ensure that all the materials, equipment, and resources are safe, and not harming themselves or others by their action. Okay, so we still under the health and safety, we still answering this legal requirement and guidelines for health and safety. Okay, so first of all, it's EYE 2017, and then second thing is Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. We still have quite a few of them, which is Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulation 1999. What does this include?
1990.
So this is amendment to the first one, which is Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. So Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations 1999 is an amendment to the one before that, and it places more responsibilities on employees to carry out a regular risk assessment. So this, yeah, sorry.
Is that health and safety, or we talk now about security?
No, we're still about the health and safety. So first one is first of the requirements and guidelines, which is EYE 2017. You can put just points, just bullet points, which is the answer to this. EYE 2017, which includes supervision of the supervision and adult-child relation, staff training, administration of medication, food and drink, safety and security of the premises, risk assessment. And also, this is number 2 of the same requirements, which is the health and safety. This is follow-up as well. So we have Health and Safety at Work Act 1974, which include reporting hazards following the policies and procedure, using safety equipment where it is needed, ensure that all the materials, equipment, and resources are safe, also not harming them themselves or others. And now the third one, which is management of health and safety. This is all for the first point, which is health and safety. We haven't reached security yet. The third one is management of health and safety at work regulation 1999. So these ones, the one in red, you need to write it as it is, because it is regulation. We can't change the name of the regulation, okay?
Yeah.
And as we said, management of health and safety at work, regulation 1999, it introduced just to amend the one before that, and to put more responsibilities on the employees to do risk assessment. And also make sure that all the staff have health and safety training. Third one, this is all under the health and safety, okay? Workplace health and safety and welfare regulation 1992. This guideline covers requirements for basic health and safety and welfare, include regulation for cleanliness, ventilation, temperature, lighting, all the requirements about the premises. Okay, so the third one for health and safety, which is workplace health and safety and welfare regulation 1992. This covers everything to do with the workplace, like lighting, cleanliness, ventilation, temperature, and so on. Now, another one for health and safety regulation, which is REDO, reporting. Sorry. Anyone ask any question?
Teacher, what's radar? I don't understand radar.
Yeah, this is, you see, the first letter is the first letter for reporting. This is just shortcut for this, which is reporting of injuries, diseases, and dangerous occurrence regulation. Just the first letter of each one of these sentences.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That's 2013. This act puts a duty on the employers. So here is about the employer themselves to report any serious accident, disease, or dangerous occurrence in any nursery. So it's very important because this regulation is all about the duty of the employer, that they have to report any accident happened or any disease or any dangerous occurrence in the workplace. So are we here clear until here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Would you like me to go back on any of the points we discussed and do it again?
No.
No.
Okay, perfect. Now, you see here all about health and safety. We have just one for security. We have security. To answer this is all about Data Protection Act. Is very, very important to know what's Data Protection Act. Do you know anything about Data Protection Act?
Yeah, the children data, we don't need to share it with anyone outside the nursery.
Okay, that's excellent. And also the data, the information for the children needs to be up to date. We don't save them for any longer than we need, and we use them properly. We don't share it with people, only on the base of need to know. Okay?
That's not in the sheets, right?
Yes, but you can just write a little bit about data protection. What do you know about data protection? Is Data Protection Act is like identify the way we deal with the data, how we manage the children's data. We need to take care of the data. We don't share it with people, only on the base of need to know. Also, keep it at all times, should be kept accurate, should be kept up to date. Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, if we go back here where it says explain how legislation and guidelines for health and safety inform day-to-day practice with babies and young children. So how these legislation and guidelines for health and safety will inform day-to-day practice with babies and children. How would you answer this question?
I wrote just outlines, and I explained a lot of some of it.
Well, you see here, this is 2.1, so you need to be in 2.1, which is here. Explain how legislation and guidelines for health and safety inform day-to-day practice with babies and young children. Yeah, so you see here we have so many points. If you want to put just the points, I'm happy with that. It's fine. I'm just going to explain it fast. You can write a little bit about each point, or just the point itself. It will be okay. Yeah. So now let us do with point number 1.
Sorry, I'll come back.
Okay, so now point number 1, procedure for outing. What does this mean?
I don't know.
It's all about risk assessment. So we need to make sure we do risk assessment before we take the children out. Yeah? Because, for example, if we take them to the garden without risk assessment, without us going there in the garden and check every single corner, make sure that there is no broken glass, there is no stones, there is nothing, no big hole they can fall in, that would put these children in danger. So we need according to this, which is a procedure of outings, we need to make sure that the children are safe. We need to do risk assessment.
Yes.
So this risk assessment ensuring that there are enough adults to look after the number of the children. Also check the insurance of any vehicle in which children are being transported by, and checking the site to be visited for safety and insurance purpose. So, procedure of outing, which means, first of all, if we take the kids out, we need to make sure that we have enough adults to take care of the children. Also, make sure that the vehicle which we will take them in out, it needs to be insured, and also the site we visited, whether it's a garden, park, or anywhere we go in, it needs to be safe, and because this is for insurance purpose. Yeah. Also, management of food and drink and healthy eating. Part of the EYEs, children should be offered meals and snacks which are healthy, and balance the nutrition. They should be always have access to drink water. It's very important. So we need to give them food which is full of nutrition. Also, we need to give them access to water at all times. Is it understood up to here?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now the third requirement, which is identify of visitor security. We need to make sure that the visitors, we know them, yeah? To keep the children safe at all time in the setting, we need a system for the visitors to monitor the visitors, yeah? They might also be issued with badges, so we need to monitor we have a camera system, so tell us who's coming in, who's coming out. Also, we need badges, we give it to the visitors, because it's very important for the security of the building and security of the kids.
Yes.
So up to here, is it understood? Because as you can see in the question, it says explain legislation and guidelines for health and safety day to day with the babies and children. Yeah? So now first, we will go back to say one by one. So now we are talking about the identity of the visitors for security reason. Safety of the premises. As far as possible, the setting should be kept safe so that there is less likelihood of an accident happens. This means ensure that it is kept tidy, the materials and equipments are put away safely, and safely routine are up to date, and all staff are trained for the safety procedure. So to keep the safety of the premises, we need to make sure that the kids would not have accident in this premises. So first of all, we need to keep it tidy. We need to keep all the materials, all the equipment put in and stored safely. And also we need to do this as a routine every day, and we need to train the staff to do it. Collection of the children, that's very important to monitor to ensure the safety of the children. Identified adults should not be able to collect children, and the names of these who have been authorized to collect. So not every adult in the family can collect the children. They should be identified to the nursery, so the nursery would know who's collecting this person, this child, and what's his relation to this child, so the child is safe at all time. Yeah.
Yes.
Is very important. So if one of the children, like his mother, is collecting him every day, and suddenly someone else you don't know, you wouldn't give the baby. You would call the mother and or ask him to call the mother and speak to her and ask, are you happy for us? Take a permission from the mother to give the child to this person. Otherwise, would be a problem if you give the child to someone who might not be even related to the family. Yeah, or maybe related, but the mother doesn't want the kid to be given to this person at that time, or for some reason, maybe a fight in the family, or even the father and the mother. There is if they have divorce, or if they have, maybe the mother is only the person who's responsible for the children because the dad is alcoholic, or so you need the nursery need to identify a person who is responsible to collect the child at all time. If not, then this person will have to notify the nursery who's coming to collect the child. Up to here, is it understood?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Cleaning and hygiene practices. So what's the cleaning and hygiene?
Cleaning the area, or the
Exactly.
using
We
the
need to
product.
clean at all time to make sure the place is safe for the children. Any other things? So, for example, when we do the vitamin, we need to make sure that others are aware of the cable. Why? Because they might fall on these cables and hurt their teeth, their face, their legs. So we have to make sure that we do the cleaning when the children are not there, or make sure that everyone is aware of the cables, and for health and safety reasons. Any other things? Also, can you see when you go to any nursery or school and someone is mopping the floor, you see there is a sign saying the floor is wet, or cleaning is taking a process here, or something like this, a yellow sign. So we need to use these caution signs at all times to make sure that the area is safe. Yeah?
Yes.
How about safety equipments? This might introduce wearing, might include wearing gloves when cleaning up, and also for if we clean the kitchen area, we need to wear gloves.
Yes.
Yeah. Staff suitability and qualifications. Why it's important to have a suitable staff and qualified staff? So first of all staff has to have DBS. What's DBS?
Is it check to see if he has any criminal record or something?
excellent. That's very good. So it is disclosure and barring services to check that this person has no criminal records, because you can't put any person who has a criminal record to work with children. Children are vulnerable. So we need to make sure everyone is working with them, have the right qualification, fully qualified, so they know what to do with children is very important. And also make sure that they have DBS, which means we check their criminal records, that they don't have any. Otherwise, how can you leave this person alone with children? That would be really dangerous. Yeah. Now, e-safety, cameras, mobile phone use. Can you explain anything about them as well?
Yes. We're not allowed to take pictures or photo to the kids because it's not legal. Just with a private camera used inside the setting.
Okay, so in the setting, we'll have any setting will have a policy to ensure that babies and children are protected. No adult should take any unauthorized photo to use it for their own mobile phones. Some children, some adults might do that. That would be a problem for the nursery itself. So the cameras the nursery use are for security reason, but no one should be, of the child carers, should be using his own mobile phone or cameras to take pictures of the children.
Oh, teacher, but I like take a picture with them.
Yes, but this is like on this occasion when you have group pictures, it's fine because like it's monitored by all the staff. Maybe all the staff are there, the manager is there, maybe on their graduation you will take pictures with them. That would be nice, but you can't, you're not able to take your mobile, start taking pictures or selfies with the children. That's not allowed.
Yes.
You started your volunteer?
Yeah, have you started the volunteer? Any one of you? Not
No.
yet?
Not yet.
I'm waiting for DBS.
Okay, excellent. How about you, Chinor? Have you started your DBS progress?
I'm waiting.
Okay, excellent. Now record keeping. Under Data Protection Act legislation, organizations should hold information and records on the individual need to ensure that this is stored safely. So the information should be stored safely, should be kept up to date. We should be use them for a specific purposes that we save them for, and not use them for any other purposes, and also not keep them for very long. If the child graduated, then we don't keep their records. Yeah? So according to Data Protection Act legislation, the organization should hold information and record of individual need to ensure that this is stored safely. Information should only be used for the purpose it was gathered for. You don't, for example, use the children's information online to fill forms, or this is not allowed. You need just to use them for the purpose you are save them for, which is, for example, you know, if the child has any kind of asthma illnesses, so you take care of them, what's medication they need. So all these, you use them only for this specific reason that you collect them for. Okay, now materials and equipment. What does this mean?
Furniture, play area, books.
Can you both see my screen, or you can't see my screen? I'm on the page number 35 of the book. Can you see my screen, or you can't?
I can see it, but it's very tiny.
Very small. Okay. Like this is better?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, excellent.
Perfect.
Okay, very good. You should have told me. Okay, so now what about materials and equipments? So all the equipments, furniture, materials in the nursery should be safe, should be following the safety guidelines in the British Safety Institute. Yeah?
Yes.
What does this mean? Some of the equipments, let us say some of the sofas, they can burn easily. You buy them from China, burn easily. They are not according to the British safety standards. So that's not allowed. You need proper equipment, which is following the British safety standards. Okay? Also, supervision of physical play outdoor area. So what does this mean?
We check the play area if the equipment is good, is working and safe.
Excellent. We check the playground for the kids. Is there any broken equipment there? Any slippery surfaces? Any animal, foxes? The equipment, the materials, all. Is there anything left outside in the rain and got damaged? Any water play area? We need to check everything in the play area.
Yes.
So to make sure that the children is safe in the play area, we need to check the safety of the play area. There is no broken equipment. There is no slippery area. There is no foxes or any other animals in the area. There is no material left outside for a while and got broken or damaged. This is very important before we take the children out. Okay? Now, managing intimate care. What does this mean? Intimate care. Yeah, sorry. Who wants to participate?
Yeah. For about clean themselves. Maybe nappies.
Okay, excellent. Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, intimate care is when you become too close to the baby, like you change the nappy of the baby. Okay, so that's intimate care. So which should you do when you do this type of work? When you're too close to the baby, you change their nappies, for example, you need to follow the guidelines of the organization, of the nursery you're working in. It's very important. You need to follow the policy and procedure, and also safeguarding and the intimate care policy. Whatever the policies are there, you need to follow it. Safeguarding, intimate care policy, Very important to follow. So if someone would say you done this, that's a terrible thing you done, say, well, you know what? This is from the policy and procedure. I didn't do this from the top of my head, which is really good. So you are safe, the child is safe. You always follow the policy and procedure. Safe disposal of the waste. So sometimes, as we said, for the intimate care, you change their nappies. What you would do with this?
We need to put it in the rubbish bin or...
Yeah, and also like you have maybe body fluid, maybe a blood, maybe a urine, maybe you need to know how to dispose it. Always you need to wear PPEs, which is personal protection equipment. Do we know what's PPEs?
It's like gloves or apron.
Very good. Gloves, apron, face mask, all these, you need to wear them when you're doing this disposal waste or cleaning. So you need to make sure of having a good hygiene and don't spread the infection. Let us say one of the children has got infection, then you don't spread it, yeah? Now, fire safety. Fire safety, this includes regular check of fire equipment in the setting. Very important. So there is fire machines to protect us from fires. So we need to make sure that they are there. They are in the building. And so we protect the building from any fire could happen. And there are always make sure that there is a fire exit in the building. You need to know where is the fire exit. Let us say suddenly there is a fire happened in the building and you need to evacuate all the kids. You need to make sure these kids are safe. Then you need to know where is the fire exit. Also, where is the fire extinguisher? Very important to know where is the fire extinguisher, so you can maybe control the fire. There is a fire alarm, should be always there is a fire alarm. So normally you break a glass and you press on the alarm, so the police will come and the fire brigade as well will come. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. You see here, fire extinguishers, very important. They should be even at home. Do you have it at home as well? One of these extinguishers. Do you have them at home?
No.
No.
You should be having one at home just in case of any emergency. God forbidden, hopefully nothing will happen, but just in case, this is very important. They are not very expensive. You can buy them from Amazon and keep them safe.
Yeah, of course.
Now, storage. What does the storage mean? And how it is related to health and safety?
Yeah. All
Yeah?
equipment should be stored safely.
Safely, yeah, very good. And the cupboards should be always tidy. There is no rubbish. Why? Because the rubbish could catch fire fast. So you need to keep it always tidy. And also lock them. Let us say you have medication. Lock the medication to keep it safe and away from children. Very important. Or maybe cleaning materials. Even cleaning materials are very bad for the children. You need to save them properly.
Yes.
Now, last one, which is use of electrical equipment. All electrical equipment in the setting has to be checked and labeled at least once a year. So if we have lots of electrical equipment, we should bring the nursery should bring a person who can check all these equipments, put the sticker that is being checked, put the date, and then this should happen every year. So make sure that the children would not have any harm or any accident will happen. Make sure everything is checked. Okay, so now it's a bit confusing. Now we were talking about this one, which is explain how legislation and guidelines for health and safety inform day-to-day practice with babies and young children. So to answer this question, I would just put the bullet points from this question, which is, I go to number 2.1, which is here, explain how legislation and guidelines for health and safety inform day-to-day practice with babies and young children. The answer is this. You see that all these just put as you can draw it if you have if you know how to do them, or put them one by one, which is procedure for outing, management of food and drink, and healthy eating. I identify visitors for security, identify of visitors security, safety of premises.
I wrote it, but in details. It took me a long time.
Oh, that would be good. That's really good, because the awarding body, when they look at your work with little bit of details, even if there's just one line for each one of them, they would consider your work as a very good work. So they will not check more and more and more. While if it is very small work being put for this unit, and the external verifier will come and check it, they will think, oh, I need to see more of this person because I'm not satisfied with this unit. I might find better units. Then they will keep checking every single unit you've been working on. While if you put good answers every unit, when they come and check maybe 1-2 units, they will think, yeah, that's fine, this person is passed. Good, well done. Yeah. So I would say better put even very little explanation for each bullet point. That would be good. That would be really, really good. But if you can't, just bullet points for this question particular, because it has so many, is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So now first bullet points we said. Where is it? Procedures of outing. Second thing is identify of visitors. Third thing is safety of premises. Sorry. Management of food and drink and healthy eating. Collection of children. Cleaning and hygiene practice. Safety equipment. Staff suitability and qualifications, e-safety cameras and mobile phone use, record keeping, materials and equipment, supervision of physical play outdoor area, managing intimate care, safe disposal of waste.
Storage.
Yes, very good. Storage,
Fire
safety, very good, excellent. And the last one, which is use of electrical equipment. Very good. Now, second question, that's the question, which is 2.2, identify policies and procedure relating to the health and safety of babies and young children. So what is the policies and procedure relating to health and safety of babies and young children? Okay, so as you can see here, policies and procedure, I have them in this graph here, which is in this table. Health and safety policies, fire safety policies, security lockdown policy, child protection safeguarding policy, fire aid medical need policy, use of phone and camera policy, healthy eating policy. Okay, for these policies, I would put little bit of description. Otherwise, it's not good enough to identify them without little bit of explanation. So for health and safety policy, this policy is very important and sets out many of the health and safety requirements for the organization. It might also include procedures for fire safety and security and others. So health and safety policy, there is not much to talk about, which is health and safety policy. It is very important policy to make sure that the children are safe. Fire safety policy, this will describe what the setting should do to ensure that staff and children know how to, what to do in the case of fire. Yeah, so it's very important to have this policy, fire safety policy. This policy is very important so the staff and the children would know what to do if there is any fire happened in their building, where they evacuate, the evacuation, the assembly point. Do you know what's the assembly point?
Yeah, where the point where we go to when it's fire.
Excellent. It's a place where everyone should be gathered in a case of fire. There should be a fire exit and should be assembly point where the people gather in a case of fire. Third policy, which is security lockdown policy. What does this mean? From the name, if you look at the name security lockdown policy, it means the access to the building. Yeah, so this policy describes the responsibility for keeping children and adults safe and secure. It's about accessing the building, regular check on gates or any fence. Yeah. The lockdown policy describes what the setting will do if there is any threat directly outside. How we lock the building. So if there is any threat outside, we have to take care of the babies or the children. So we need to have this policy to ensure that the setting, what will do in case there is any threat outside, to prevent anyone from going in or out. So what's security and lockdown policy mean?
To lock the security gate.
Yes, very good. So make sure that the setting is safe and secure for children and for employees at all time. Make sure that we regularly check the gates, we check the fences, and also about the lockdown policy means if there is any threat outside, any danger outside, that the nursery should be locked to prevent anyone from going in and or out. Let us say people fighting outside, or a massive fight, or a riot happened. We shouldn't allow the kids to play in the garden because in a riot time, someone might jump over the fence and start harming the premises. So we need to get all the doors locked, make sure that the children is safe at all time. So no one can come in or out at this moment. Children protection safeguarding policy. So what's the children protection or safeguarding? The safeguarding policy must show the setting commitment to protecting babies and children and keeping them safe at all times from abuse. It must say what will happen if the setting thinks that the child is at risk or harm. What we should do. So what's the children protection and safeguarding policy? Safeguarding policy, we must follow it, because this policy protecting the babies and children and keeping them safe at all time from any harm or abuse. And it also, these policies will tell us what we should do exactly, just in case we discover there is any risk of harm or abuse to any child. Is this understood so far? If you don't understand anything, please let me know so we can repeat. I'm happy to repeat everything now from the beginning if you want. I just want you to understand how you can answer the question and to understand little bit about each one of these policies, because once you start working in any nursery, you need to go straight down to the manager and ask for the policy and procedure. Start reading them, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, why you would do this at that time, something like this, just to keep you safe, keep the children safe, and your job is secure at all times. Not because you work with a vulnerable, which is the children. Even for me myself, like if I work as an administrator, I worked as a PA, I worked in so many different jobs. Each job I work, I need to check what's the policy and procedures. They send it with the job description or the contract. Sometimes with the contract, when you sign the contract. So this is for you, is to keep you safe, keep everyone safe. You need to read it to understand it, so you don't do things they don't want you to do in the workplace. It's very important to read the policy and procedure at all times.
Even if we do volunteer, they will give us a...
Well, they would not, but normally any nursery, if you go to their website, you can see the policy and procedure. Just go and have a look, because now you're reading everything about the policies and procedure will give you more information. It's good to read the policy and procedure so you know that you haven't done anything wrong, you don't do anything wrong. For me, I like reading policies and procedures, so no one will come at any stage of my job there and say, oh, why did you do that? That's dangerous. That's I'm always follow the policy and procedure, and no one can say anything to me. So yeah. It's good to read it. And they are always on the company website. You don't need even to wait them to print it for you. You just go and look for the policy and procedure, you can read it. Now the other policy and procedure, use of phone and camera policy. This policy will set out how camera phones in this setting are to be used. In most cases, phones should be only taken of children and babies to record their learning and development, and should be taken using the setting equipment. So if someone would call, let us say a mother called about one of the babies to let us know that they are ill, or they should use the setting equipment. She should phone the landline to let us know. Not texting the teacher, say, can you take permission from the manager to say that this child is ill or something. No, they should make call through the setting equipment. Is this clear?
Yes.
Yes, so for this policy, which is use of phone and camera policy, this policy will identify when and how to use cameras and phones inside the setting. So you don't take mobiles, you don't use your mobile at all time. You don't keep answering every single message, but if there is any calls or message about one of the babies, then you might have to answer it. However, these parents should be informed that they should contact the setting equipment. Give us a call on the landline is better, because I normally don't take mobile. I put it on silent. Just tell them that, say, I'm very happy to answer all your questions, but would be great if you can use the landline, because I put my mobile on silent at all time. Yeah. Healthy eating policy. This is the last one, which is the policy will outline what the setting will do to promote healthy eating in children. So the last policy, which is healthy eating policy, it's outlined what the nursery would do to keep the children safe and healthy at all time, and how to encourage them to eat healthy food. So to answer this question, identify policies and procedure relating to the health and safety of babies and young children. The answer would be these policies. Health and safety policy, health and safety is all about taking care of the children, make sure that they are healthy and safe at all times. Also use safe equipments. Fire safety policy, which describe what the setting should do, and the staff and children, for the staff and children, so that they know what they can do if there is any fire in the building, where they can, how they can evacuate, where is the fire exit, and where is the assembly point. Very important. Security lockdown policy, which means describe the setting responsibility for the children and adult safety, to keep them secure, to keep the building secure at all time, and in terms of checking the gates, the fences, and also the lockdown policy describes the setting, what will do if there is any threat outside the nursery, and how they can prevent people from getting in and out, to keep the children and everyone in the nursery secure and safe. Child protection and safeguarding policy. The safeguarding policy must show the setting's commitment to protecting babies, children, and keep them safe from abuse. And what will happen if the child was at risk of harm or abuse? How we can act. So give us some steps to follow. Another policy, first aid and medical needs policy. This policy is set out the setting, what will do to manage first aid and medication. And it should list the name of the first aider for the setting, who can deal with the safeguarding in the nursery is very important. So that's to keep everyone safe. Who's the pediatric and first aider in the setting? So this policy is all about first aider medical needs policy. This policy set out how we manage first aider and medication in the nursery. Use of phone and cameras. The use of phones and cameras. This policy is set out how cameras and phones are used in the setting, and also how the children parents should be using the certain equipments rather than calling the people one by one. Like healthy eating policy. This policy outline what the setting will do to promote healthy eating for the children. So are we clear about the policies so far?
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. Now if I go to 3.1, which is describe the role and responsibilities for early years practitioner, including reporting in the event of identifying risk and hazards. So what's your, as a practitioner, for you as a practitioner, here we come 3.1. Describe the role and responsibilities for an early years practitioner. So as a practitioner in a nursery, what is your responsibilities?
Keep things clean and tidy.
Excellent. Very important. So first one is to keep the setting clean and tidy. All adults will have the same responsibility, which is ensure that the nursery is always kept clean and tidy. Very important. Why? Because this prevents any hazards, like people wouldn't fall because of the goods, because of the equipments everywhere. Also, the fire hazard wouldn't. We would protect the building from fire hazard, from any hazard. It's very important to keep the setting clean and tidy at all times. Number two, identify risk and hazards. So first of all is to keep the nursery tidy and clean. Second one is to identify risk and hazards. So what does this mean?
We check around us if there is any hazard and report it.
Exactly, very good. Let us say you're using the toaster to make some sandwiches for the babies, or you're using any equipment and suddenly you see the plug melted and there is a little bit of fire. You need to report any faulty equipment in the nursery so it gets sorted day to day, every day. You need this practice, very important. Let us say they put here for you another example, which is chair sticking out. You need to, or a gate cannot be locked. It's always left open. This is all hazard. So identify risk and hazard. Always look for the kind of risk and hazard. It might occur in day-to-day activities and report it to your manager or supervisor. Very important. Any other things you might be part of your job there?
Making it safe where possible.
Yeah. So making it safe where is possible. What does this mean?
That means inside the inside and outside the setting. You need to make it safe for kids.
Okay, yeah, good. Means always make sure that the environment is safe. Okay, so you need, as soon as you discover any hazard, you need to report it. You need to keep following up until they fix it. Make sure everything is safe for children and babies because they are your responsibility. So you don't put them at risk at any time. Okay. The other one, which is your responsibility, is supporting children's awareness of risk and hazard. So what does that mean? So the children and babies, they are growing. So when they are kids, they don't know which one is dangerous, which one is not dangerous. So what do you need to do? As they develop, you need to make them aware of any hazard. like you need to talk to them about the hazard. Look, this is dangerous. You shouldn't play with the electricity plug. Why? Because electricity is very dangerous for us. We can use it for machines, but if we touch electricity, we might die. Something like this. You need to let them know what's the danger that any equipments might have, because these kids are growing. They need to have more information so they don't harm themselves at any time. Okay, so supporting children awareness of risk and hazard. One of the most important things to remember is that as babies and young children grow older and develop their own awareness of safety changes, this awareness will also depend upon their needs and ability. Very young children, for example, are highly impulsive and will not see potential danger. So some of them are really moving fast and making some noise and jumping around, and so they don't really see the hazard. You need to make them aware of the hazard at all times. So this is the most important job you would do in the nursery. Okay, now where we are. Reporting and recording risk and hazard. This is important as well. So you not give awareness to the children only, but you need to report it and record it. You don't, like, let us say you see something really dangerous. I would tell the children, oh, this is dangerous, you shouldn't play with the plug. You see the fire just happened now, the wire is melted, this is really dangerous. We could die if we touch it again, something like this. This is not enough. You need to report it and record the risk. So if you notice a hazard in the setting, you should always act on it. This may involve making a note in a book or sending an email to the person responsible. That, like, let us say there is a maintenance guy who's coming from time to time to check on the building. You need to send them an email saying this is not working, it's a faulty machine and it's very dangerous for the babies or for the kids. Or maybe report it to your manager to deal, if he's or she is the person who's dealing with these and you don't know who's the maintenance person in the building. Maybe tell your supervisor. Yeah, so one of your jobs as well is recording and reporting risk and hazard. So now if I want to answer this question, describe roles, responsibilities of the early years practitioner, including reporting in the event of identifying risk and hazard. So what's responsibility? So how to answer it? I say my responsibility as a practitioner is, I come here to number 3.1. So the question is this: describe the role and responsibilities for early year practitioner, including reporting in the event of identifying risk and hazard. The answers will be number 1, keeping the setting clean and tidy, which means I need to keep the setting at all time clean and tidy to prevent any hazards such as fire, and also keep hygiene as a good practice there. Number 2, identifying risk and hazard. So I need to monitor if there is any kind of risk or hazard. I always look out for kind of risk and hazard and check the day-to-day equipment that I'm using, if they have any hazards. Number 3, making safe where it's possible, which means if you discover any hazard, you need You mean cover it or moving, let us say, machine just being burned by the electricity. You need to take this machine, take the plug off, and keep it safe in a storage. You can't just keep it in front of the kids or the babies. It might be dangerous if they come close to it, to play close to it. Yeah, and then number 3 or 4, I can't remember now. Another one, which is supporting children awareness of risk and hazard. They're very important. So you don't really, if you know any hazard or any danger in the nursery, you need to keep these children aware of that. They are developing, they are growing up. So the best thing to do is to give them the right information fully, so they understand it and they don't play and harm themselves. Also, some of these kids, they have more energy than others, keep playing with everything. You need to keep them healthy and safe at all times. So you better tell them about the danger of these equipments. And also reporting and recording risk and hazard, very important. So you notice there is something wrong, you need to take care of it. You store it somewhere so children wouldn't have access to it. Also, you need to tell the children about it, how dangerous it is for them to play with these equipments because they are faulty. And you need to report it. So for you need to report any risk or hazard. If you notice any risk or hazard in the setting, you should always report it to your manager, supervisor, or the maintenance person in the organization. Now, 3.2, let us go back here, 3.2. Identify risk and hazard for babies and young children during offside visits. So what is the risk and hazard for babies during offside visit? Can you think about any hazard could happen to the children?
For example, get injured.
Yeah. By what? Offside, which means if you take them somewhere else, like let us say, take the babies to the park, or maybe you put them in a car and you take them to visit, let us say, any park or any cinema. You take them to see a little bit of a movie or any place they visit. So why is dangerous? What the potential hazard and how can you prevent it? First of all, crossing the road is very dangerous, yeah? So ensuring there are enough adults when crossing the road to take care of the children, that would be very important. Second thing, can you think about another thing?
The vehicle we should check if the vehicle which used for transport the kids should be insured and have seat belts for the kids.
Okay, good, excellent.
Yeah, we need to write all of them. I wrote some.
Yeah, you need to write. I would put all of them, just a little bit. I talk about each one of them, like crossing the road. Crossing the road is very dangerous, so we need to take care of the children when they cross the road. Second thing, insufficient child care, adult-child ratio, which means if you have 20 children and you have just 2 adults taking care of them, each adult will have to take care of 10 children. That would be too much. So it is very important to make sure that there is sufficient adult-child ratio. So insufficient adult-child ratio is very dangerous. So parent health and other volunteers should not supervise children alone. This should be briefed by the member of staff. So I would put insufficient. First danger is crossing the road. Always dangerous to cross the road, so make sure that the children are safe. Number 2, insufficient adult to child ratios. So we need, even if we use volunteers, we can't leave them unsupervised. So we need to have the right number of staff to take care of the children. Vehicle insurance, which means ensure that the vehicle which you will be traveling with has got insurance. It's very important, and seat belts. So vehicle insurance means the vehicle which we're using to transfer the children needs to be insured, and we need to have seat belt. Lost children, that's a danger. What would you do if the child is lost?
We need to report it to the police.
Yes.
I think first of all we need to look after him. If we found him, that's fine.
Okay, excellent. So first of all, we need to look after them properly. We need to give them badges where they have their names, which nursery they come from is very important when we go out with them in any visit. So if the child missing, they will find him easily. So it's very important we take care of the child, make sure that we don't lose them, and then we also have to give them badges with their names and the setting name. So make sure that we can find them easily. Now, the other dangerous thing if we take the children out, which is first aid. It's very important. If something happened, straight away we need first aid. So there is at least one pediatric first aider is presented with the group when they go offside. Insufficient medication, that's another danger. So when we go out in a visit, we need to take all the medication needed for the children. If they have asthma, for example, if they have diabetes, if for any reason, we need to make sure that they are safe. So we need to take their tablets with us wherever we go. If they have allergies, so it is very dangerous if we have insufficient medication, which means we don't take enough medication for the children. Insufficient sun protection, waterproof clothing for visit, and that's very important. So another dangerous thing, which is insufficient sun protection, which means we don't take with us sun protection and it's really hot and sunny outside. This doesn't happen very often, but still, if there is any sunshine, without even sunshine, I would just, some of their children are really, really sensitive to the sun. So we need to make sure there is a sun protection at all time. And also, if there is any rain, we make sure waterproofing clothing is very important. Yes. So insufficient just mean not good enough. Yeah. So if we have insufficient sun protection and waterproofing clothing for the visit, that would be a problem. So staff should always be prepared for the weather, to ensure that children have sun hat, sun cream while it's needed. Yes. And also if they are muddy or if there is a rain, we need to have waterproofing wear, whether it's boots or jackets. There is another danger: insufficient toileting, hand washing, and other facilities is very dangerous, because if we don't have enough a good toilet, like dirty toilets, we take them to, or there is no hand wash material, that would be a real risk. So risk assessment, we need to make sure when we go offside visit, we need to make sure to do risk assessment there to make sure that they have good toileting, they have good hand washing equipment, we have the nappies we need. Is very important. And incorrect contact details, that's another danger. So adults who are with a group of children should always ensure that they have up-to-date contact details of the setting, other adults on the trip, and the parents or carers of the children. Why? Do we know why?
Because if anything dangerous happened, they need to contact them.
Absolutely. So if something dangerous happened, we need to contact them directly very fast. So now identify risk hazards for babies and young children during offside visit. This is the answer, is here.
Crossroads.
Number one, yes, very good. Crossing the road. When we cross the road with the babies, we make sure always that we have a clear visibility, so we keep the children safe. Also another danger, which is insufficient adult to children ratio, which means we need at all the time to have enough adults to take care of the babies when they are out. We can't go with just one or two adults to take care of a big group of babies. Even if we have volunteers or parents, we still need someone to be supervising them. Another danger, which is vehicle insurance, which means the vehicle need to be insured, and also we need a seat belt. If this is not in the vehicle, then it is not. We are not able to travel with. Lost children, that's another danger, that some of your children might get lost, even though we are taking lots of care of them, because they keep moving around and there are too many of them, and like, okay, there is enough adult, but the children, they move too much. So in this case, we need to have badges where it has the child name and child and the nursery name, and so we can find the children easily. First aid not presented, that's another danger. So we need a pediatric first aid at all time, just in case one of the children felt ill. Insufficient medication, that's another danger. We take the babies outside for a visit while we don't have enough medication for everyone to keep them safe at all time, and that's dangerous. We need to make sure all the medication are enough for them. Insufficient sun protection and waterproof clothing for visit, that's very dangerous, because these kids might get ill. So we need sun protection to keep their skin safe, and also we need waterproofing clothing like boot, jacket, because it's mostly raining in the UK. So we need to make sure the babies are protected from all types of weather. Also, insufficient toileting, hand washing, and other facilities, that's dangerous as well. Why? Because we need to do risk assessment, make sure there is a good toilet, it's clean and hygienic, there is enough nappies, there is enough clothing we take with us. Some of them, they wet their clothing, so we have to change it. And also the last one, which is incorrect contact details, is very dangerous. If you don't have the contact details of the nursery, of the adults who's going with you on the visit, and also for the parents, just in case something happened, dangerous happened, then you can make the appropriate contact. Now, identify risk and hazard to health and safety in the early setting. So what is the hazard to health and safety in the nursery? So I go 4.1, identify risk and hazard in health and safety in an early year setting. So can you describe how you can answer this question?
I tried to do it, but I couldn't. I don't know.
Well, you need to identify what's risk and hazard in the health for health and safety in the early. Like you need to think about when you go offside visit. What's the health and safety? We done it just now, correct?
We need to write it again?
No, this is if you're outside the nursery, but now if you're in the setting, in the nursery itself, what risk you can find?
If the gate is open.
Exactly, that's very good. First of all, there are some risks, like if the gates are opened, if the fence are not done very well, or there is a problem with it, if the cameras, the security system are not working, that's a hazard. If we are not trained enough to deal with the hazard, that's another danger, because we need to learn how to do it well. So staff training is another issue. Risk assessment, if we don't do the risk assessment when we take the children to the garden, is very dangerous. Here you can see the risk assessment is very important. Anything inside the setting, like let us say if we don't have equipments where signs where when we clean the area and the floor is wet, if we don't have these signs, it's a dangerous and hazard for the kids. They might fall off. If there is any faulty machines, that's a danger and hazard for their risk, for their health, and yeah.
Okay.
So here, what you see here, identify risk and hazard to health and safety in an earlier setting. So what we discussed just now, before that, about the crossing road, and that's offside. But now we're talking about this nursery itself. What's dangerous in the nursery? As Hiba said, the gate, if it is open, I'll keep opening, because you cannot lock the door. That's danger. The fence, if it is broken or nearly broken because of the wind, that's danger. If we take them to the garden, but we haven't done any risk assessment, that's a danger. If there is any faulty equipment, but we didn't take it to the storage, that's a danger. And we didn't tell the kids how dangerous it is to play with it. They might play with it, then they harm themselves. If we clean, but we don't put the sign for cleaning and the floor is wet, that's a danger. If we don't keep all the medication in a proper cupboard, that's a danger. The kids might eat it. Also, the cleaning materials, all these chemicals, we need to keep it safe. And also, if we don't keep record of accident happen, so that's a danger, because we might repeat the same like accident over and over again. So we need to keep record of it. So next time we act on this. Let us say there is one of the tiles are broken in the toilet and the kids keep hurting themselves. Then we fix it. If we have a record of this, we will have the maintenance guy come and fix it and done. While if we don't record it, we will forget about it tomorrow, and then and then this will happen again. Yeah. So all this is risk and hazard in the setting. Now, list accident and incidents which may occur in the earlier setting. That's 6.1. So I go and look for 6.1 and here. List accident and incidents which may occur in the early year setting. First of all, missing children. That's very, very dangerous. Yeah. If the child goes missing, either on or off site, it will need to be reported straight away. You shouldn't keep thinking, oh, I might find him, I might find him. You need to report it. So more people will look for him with you, for them, so that staff can work together. If you are on a trip, the setting policy will need to be followed, and parents will need to be informed as soon as possible. Yeah. So first danger list: accident or incident happened in an early years setting. Number one, most dangerous thing could happen, which is missing child. So if we missed any child, I shouldn't go and look for him by myself. I should report it. So my colleague will be looking for him, and as well as that, I need to report this incident to the parents as soon as possible. Especially if you were on offside, it's very important because you might not find him. Then they have to do something, inform the police, come look with us. Everyone has to look until they find the child. Yeah. Number two, medical emergencies. That's another danger. There are a number of different medical emergencies which may occur in an earlier setting. These include broken bones, choking, burns, falls, and minor injuries. Burns to the head, nose bleeding, fainting, or losing of consciousness. So all these are medical emergencies. So number two, which is the accident and incident happening in the nursery, medical emergencies. This could happen to the children, such as choking. Do you know what's choking? Choking when you have a big something was stuck in the throat and doesn't go down or doesn't come up and will stop the child from breathing. That's very dangerous. Burns, falls, minor injuries, burns, nose bleeding, fainting, loss of consciousness. All these are medical emergencies. Number three, security incident. These may include bomb scares, unidentified people on site, weapons in the setting, evacuation or lockdown incident. Your setting will have a policy for each, and you should be familiar with this if that happened. Is this understood? So the security incidents could be like finding a bomb in the nursery, or finding weapons, lockdown because of riot outside, or people are fighting, big fight outside. Unidentified people on site, people you don't know, suddenly lots of them come into the site you don't know, so you need to lock the doors and make sure everyone is safe inside while you call the police. So this is not like highly unlikely it could happen, but you need to familiarize yourself with the policy and how to deal with this if that's happened. Yeah. So now all these, so to answer this question, 6.1, I would answer it saying a list of accident and incident happened. Number 1, missing child. So the children could be missing in the nursery, or when we go to offside visit, and if that happened, I need to inform my colleagues, so we all look for the child together. And also if we were in a trip or visit, we need to inform the parents as soon as possible. Number 2, medical emergencies. This could happen if any emergency happens in the nursery, like the child falls, or if he had any choking, burns, if any minor injuries, burns, nose bleeding, fainting, loss of consciousness, all this should be reported as soon as possible. And number 3 is security incidents, which mean if you find a bomb in the nursery, or some weapons, or some people who you don't know come into the nursery. Or in case of a lockdown in the nursery because of a riot or because of any big issue outside. So you need to follow the policy if this situation has happened. Now 7.1, identify the signs and symptoms of allergic reaction and intolerance in babies and young children. So what's the symptoms of allergic reaction?
Then parents.
So I need to go to 7.1. Here we are, 7.1, identify the signs and symptoms of allergic reaction and intolerance in babies and young children. So what the book divided into, which is really clever, indoors and outdoors. So there are different ones you can have. So for example, outdoors, children who have hay fever or are allergic to pollen may have red or itchy eyes, itchy skin, or start sneezing and become congested. They may also complain of headache or earache. So the children who are so outdoor, what's the allergic reaction? For us all, I have myself hay fever. Hay fever could affect anyone. So children who have hay fever or allergic or are allergic to pollen, they might have red faces, red noses, itchy eyes, itchy skin, start sneezing and become congested, which means they can't take a breath. They breathe very slowly, and they may also complain of headache. Number 2, if they were outside, insect bite. That's dangerous. Insect bite or stings may trigger minor allergic reaction. Suddenly you see their skin is bumped up and it's really red or pink or swollen and is itching. That's very dangerous. However, in some cases, there may be a serious reaction called anaphylaxis, which may include dizziness or problem with breathing. So suddenly the child is really, what the word is very allergic to the sting of the bee, and they suddenly can't even breathe, or they can't even talk, and they fall on the floor. Then this is a really dangerous situation. Then you might have to call ambulance at all times to take care of them. Number 3 is exhaust fumes or other pollutions. So such as cigarette smoke may trigger asthmatic reaction in some children, as well as very cold or damp weather. Very cold or damp may trigger allergy in the children. This may start wheezy or coughing. Do you know what's wheezy? Wheezy when the child have lost some weird sound when they breathe. It's like some sound when they breathe. It's not normal. Some sound like a mouse or some wheeziness in their chest. Yeah. Okay, good. You know it. And if they cough a lot, and if they feel tight-chested, if their chest is, they can't breathe, that's a problem. Then you have to call the ambulance. So as we said, what's the allergic reaction? We divide it into outdoors and indoors. Outdoors, number 1 is high fever. This is before allergic reaction to pollen. So you might have itchy eyes, itchy skin, might have become congested and complain from headache. Number 2, insect bites or sting. It might make the skin swollen or itchy, or maybe can go to a lot higher than this. Real problem, dizziness, and you might not be able to breathe. So in this case, you need to call the ambulance straight away. Last one for outdoor, which is exhaustion fumes. Exhaust fumes is very dangerous, and it trigger asthmatic reaction for the children. Any damp weather could do that, so the child start wheezing or coughing, and that's very dangerous. The other one, which is indoors. So what's the allergy or reaction they can have indoors? Unfamiliar soap they might use, and suddenly they trigger eczema if they have, or itchiness, or rashes to their skin. And also pet fur. Obviously not in the nursery, you wouldn't have pet, but maybe from home he's got a pet, a new pet, and suddenly he comes with a rash. So pet fur or skin can cause some children to cough, to sneeze, to be wheezy, all this if they were asthmatic, and it could give them red eyes, skin rash. This is extremely allergenic and is a bit dangerous for the children. And also inside the nursery you can find damp or mold in the air, can cause babies and young children to have difficulty in breathing or runny nose. And the most important thing, we said outdoor and indoor, and the most important to discuss, which is food allergy. Yeah, so some children would have food allergy, This could be triggered by cow's milk, food containing gluten, nuts and peanuts, eggs, seeds, shellfish, soya. So many items, even bread, some people can have allergy reaction to it. So if they are very small, or after 6 months, they could have allergy reaction to food. You need to monitor this. Some of the reaction are really extreme, so you need to maybe call the ambulance. If they suddenly, for example, had nuts or peanuts, or they're not meant to drink milk cow, and then suddenly had it, is very dangerous. Yeah. So what's the symptoms? Let us see the questions. Science, we just explain it, which means when they become red and itchiness and all this, yeah? So we said indoors, outdoors, and also for the food allergy, it could kill them sometimes if the allergy is really severe. What's the symptoms? So the symptoms, as we discussed for this outdoor, exactly what is the symptoms, and the outdoors we said the breathing problems, the itchiness, the redness, each one of them. And now we have for the food allergy. So for the food allergy, what's the symptoms? The symptoms is itching skin, or a rash, wheezing, or difficulty in breathing, diarrhea or stomach upset, sneezing or coughing, red itchiness or swollen eyes, mild swollen around the lips or eyes. Okay, so I can, if I was going to do this question, I would say there are many signs and symptoms for allergies reaction. The children could get the allergy reaction from outdoor, from indoor, from food. So first of all, outdoor, which is hay fever. This could the symptoms is itchiness in the skin, sneezing, become congested. Number 2, insect bites. This could give a reaction to the skin, make it swollen, redness, and sometimes they can't even get congested and they can't even breathe. And in this case, it's really extreme and we need to call the ambulance. And exhaustive fume. This will trigger asthmatic reaction in the children, and also if they live in cold or damp area. So now indoors, we put unfamiliar soap. If the children use unfamiliar soap, they can get itchiness or eczema or rash in their skin. Also, if they have pet at home, so they might have allergy to pet fur, so their skin will particular could go red. They could go sneezing, wheezing, and red eyes, red skin rashes, extreme allergy reaction. And also there is dampness or mold if there is any in the nursery, that will give them runny nose, breathing problems. And the last one is food allergies, such as milk cows, food containing gluten, nuts and peanuts, eggs, seeds, shellfish, soya. And the symptoms for that is itchiness in the skin, rash, wheezing, difficulty in breathing, diarrhea or stomach upset, sneezing or coughing, red itchiness, swollen eyes, mild swollen around the lip or eyes. Are we happy with what we answered so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we going to take any breaks or we'll continue?
It's up to you. We can take a break or we can continue. So we have this question. Oh, this is 1, 2, 3.
Because I think
Okay.
these ones will take time.
Okay, let us take a break 5 minutes and come back.
Okay, good.
Okay. So now 12:08. Let us come back 12:15. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you find it so far?
Yeah.
Sure. How you find it so far, guys?
It's good to understand it.
Excellent. So now let us carry on with the rest. We got here, identify common childhood illnesses. So can you think of common illnesses for the children? So if I go now 8.1, where is it? Okay, it's here. Number 1, cough and cold. Number 2, chickenpox. Number 3, slab check syndrome. Number 4, mumps. Number 5, MTG. And what's that? Is that finished? Okay, so okay. So you just need to put them down. So measles, ringworm, sickness, or diarrhea. Yeah. So now, shall we talk about a little bit by bit about these illnesses? Have you read these illnesses at home? What does it mean? Okay, for answer, I would be happy just to, because it says identify common illnesses. So I'm just going to identify them, put them, and then put little bit of description about each one of them. So first one is cough and cold. What does it mean? These are most common in the babies and children, and they caused by viruses, spread easily. Yeah. And now chickenpox. Have you ever seen the chickenpox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my child, yeah.
So it's redness. It's like lots of itchiness, lots of spots, red spots in the children's faces. Slap cheek syndrome. What's that? Yeah. Can you think about this illness?
No.
Let us say you don't know any of these illnesses. What you can do, you can just type it in Google and go to pictures, and it will show you more about it. However, the description is here anyway. It's characterized by a bright red rash on the cheeks. Yeah? But obviously, chickenpox will be something similar, but you need just to have a look at the picture and see what's difference and then you can spot them if that happens. Give the children lots of itchiness and the headache, runny nose, fever.
Mumps.
Okay, so what's the mumps? It's painful, swollen of one or both of the salivary glands under the ears. So under the ears, you will find the ears are swollen. Under the ear, you find it red and swollen. Yes. And itching the children. They will have temperature. Yeah. The infection.
It's a virus.
Sorry. So
it's
say
a
again.
Virus. This illness, it's a virus.
Exactly, it's a virus, and it take a week or two in the child, and then before he gets better.
Yes.
Impetigo was this is an infection, particularly infection in young children, and again it causes fever, itchiness, temperature will be go really high for the children, and it is an infectious, so the children should be kept away from other children. Okay. Measles. What's the sign of this illness? It's similar to the cold or cough. Takes a few days to go, but there will be rash, will spread from the head down and may last for up to a week. So if they have cold with the rash, that's measles. Yeah. Ringworm. So ringworm, there is a worm inside the body which lives on what we eat, and if they have the ringworm, they will will cause a swollen, okay, rash on the skin, and the rings can be found anywhere in the body, face, scalp. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And sickness or diarrhea or stomach bugs could, maybe because of food poisoning, because of cold again. So there is a stomach bug, this sickness, which might cause the sickness for young children. They are usually caused by infections and should be treated by drinking plenty of fluid and rest for the children. It might take 2 days or a week for the child to improve or recover. Now, 8.2, identify the signs and symptoms which may indicate that a baby or young child is injured, unwell, or in the need of urgent medical, dental attention. So what's the sign for when you think this child needs an urgent medical or dental attention? Can you think about? So they put it here in a diagram. You can just write a book. So first of all, so rash or flushed cheeks, pale or blue skin, high temperature, quiet or listless, and unusual crying, dry nappies, that means they can't do their usual, difficulty in breathing, broken tooth or pain when eating. All this we should go and call doctor or dentist.
Okay.
So first of all, what are they?
Rash
or flushed cheeks.
Cheeks.
Very good. Pale or blue skin, suddenly gone blue, and we need to go and call the doctor. High temperature is very dangerous. We need to always take care of it. Yeah. They've suddenly gone quiet. They don't talk, they don't do anything, and you're really worried because this child is never quiet before. And then persistent or unusual crying. Yes, absolutely. So if they unusually start crying, or they don't want to do something they normally do it happily, then there is something wrong with them. Dry nappies or difficulty in breathing is dangerous, or also broken tooth or pain while they are eating. Very dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here they put it one by one. You can, we just like discussed it. If you need more information, they are all here. Now, where we are. Describe the role and responsibilities of early years practitioner include reporting the event of a baby or young child requiring urgent emergency medical dental attention. So what is the role responsibility? What's your responsibility if this to report the event in case there is urgent emergency happened? That's 8.3. Okay, so 8.3 is here. Describe the role and responsibilities. First of all, if there is an urgent or emergency attention, if there is an accident or other emergency situations and the baby or the child need to be seen or as soon as possible, you should refer straight away to the setting first aider or a senior manager may take the decision that the child should be taken straight away to the nearest A&E department, and parents should be told immediately. So first of all, if there is any emergency or urgent attention needed, so if there is any accident, my responsibility as a child carer, I need to inform the first aider person straight away, or inform my manager, my senior manager, so he or she they can make the decision to inform the child, to take the child to the A&E first and inform their parents as soon as possible. If there is any urgent dental attention, because in the same question says including medical / dental. So first of all, if there is any medical, I would inform the first aider person, the senior manager, take the child, so the senior manager can take the child to the A&E and also inform the child's parents. In the urgent dental attention, if the young child breaks a tooth or it has been knocked out, it is important for them to be seen to be seen by a dentist as soon as possible. They are likely to have been hit with some force for this to happen. So should be checked over for any head injuries. So they might have something hard hit their faces. So not only the teeth, they might have to check their heads if they have any injuries. They might also have pain or injuries somewhere else, maybe their arm, maybe their chest, not only their teeth. So if you see any tooth broken, it's not only the dentist you need, it's the doctor as well. because they might be hit by something really strong, and that cause these injuries, such as they could have had head injuries, they could have arms injuries, anywhere else. So they need to be seen by a doctor as well. If a tooth has been broken and you can save the piece of the teeth, put it in some milk to preserve it until they can get to the dental in case the tooth can be repaired. So if you have the piece of the tooth, put it in milk just in case this tooth could be repaired. As with other medical emergencies, this should be recorded so that the setting has a record of what has happened. So as soon as this happens, you need to report it and put it in nursery records. What about the second part of the question, which says non-urgent medical attention? This is for what we've spoken before about the urgent. Now, not urgent one. What we do if you are with a baby or child that is clearly unwell, or there has been an incident in the setting, but this is not urgent, you should speak with the child parents or carers and tell them what happened. Depends on the situation and the action which has been taken. They may take the decision to collect their child from the setting for that day. Maybe even though it is not urgent, maybe he's got a little bit of temperature. Like, it's not dangerous at the moment. He's not like fiery hot. He's little bit hot, little bit of temperature. Maybe inform his parents. Maybe they would decide to come and collect him, or maybe they will say, yeah, that's fine. He's been having temperature for a while now. It's just light temperature since morning. Please keep monitoring him. Maybe they will tell you that, or maybe they come and collect him. So if it is non-urgent, you need to inform the parents so they make the decision about what to do next. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if it is urgent, so to answer this question, you say urgent, emergency, or medical attention. So for me, I go to here, 8.3. So if it is urgent, emergency, would if the child has hurt himself and it's an urgent situation, maybe he's got blood coming off his arm or head. So first of all, I need to contact the first aid immediately. Then I call my senior manager, so they can make the decision whether to straight away take the child to the A&E department and also inform the child parents. And if it is urgent dental attention, if this child suddenly missed the tooth, that's dangerous because he might hit by something hard and that's broken his teeth. So maybe he's got injuries in his head, maybe his arm, maybe his chest. So as soon as possible, you need to take this. This child needs medical attention. And also for the tooth itself, if you can find a piece of the tooth, maybe put it in milk, preserve it until they reach to the dentist, just in case this could be repairable. It's important. And if there is non-urgent medical incident, then you don't really need the A&E or go into the hospital. Or if it is just a slight incident, maybe the child cut his finger very, very small cut. You put a plaster, but this is not an urgent thing. You don't need to take him to the hospital. What do? You inform the child parents. Then the child parents would decide whether to collect their child, or maybe they will ask you to keep an eye on them and to see if they are getting better or not, so they can collect them. Yeah?
Yes.
Now, identify some of the identify forms for completion in events of accident. So in the event of accident, what forms would you need to complete? So 9.1, let us go to complete the form. So if you have an accident, what type of forms will you need to complete?
Accident record form.
Excellent. Accident record form is very important to be filled by the nursery.
Yes.
And this form needs to be filled as soon as possible after they have happened. Why? Because just in case anything happened, you need to write it down straight away, because you don't forget the details. Whatever happened, you need to put it in the form. It's very, very important. So documentations for incidents or accident or emergencies need to be filled as soon as possible after they have happened. It is so that the person filling them in is able to remember details of the event, as well ensuring that the setting has as much details as possible about what happened. Okay? So if you have an accident, straight away I would fill the accident record book. And I fill it as soon as possible. Why? Because I have lots of details. I need to put it all in this record, and also I keep as much as information as I can. It helps the nursery later on, just in case they need to use this record. Okay, so here we don't have much of forms they put for the emergencies. If you want to get more information, I would just go and search it. So what's the form for the nursery to fill in the if there is any emergencies? Obviously, each one of the nurseries are much different from other ones, but they all need to fill. There is accident and emergencies policies need to be followed. So, where is it? Okay, not much information here. Does it ask about the forms itself for completion in the event? So we need an accident form. What about in the incident? What we do if, obviously we need to record every single one of these incident. Incident. Okay, so here in this, I can send you this. There are accident and incident records. This where you have to put each accident, what's the name of the accident, summary about it, and also we have accident and incident report. Okay, so if you answer this question, you don't need to say the name of each form, okay? What you say when to fill the incident form, for the incident forms, essentially, it's to be filled to allow you to document all workplace occurrence that could have caused injuries to person or damage to the company assets. So you need to write the cause of the problem, you need to write when that happened, you need to write how did you, what's the child, what did he suffer from, and also what's the conclusion, did you take the child to the hospital? So you just need to say, I write a report about this. The form is a report about this incident. And also about any emergencies. Obviously, you take the child to the hospital when there is any emergencies. Or first of all, you need to go to the, if there is any emergency happen, there is a report to fill. You need to talk about the procedure. What did you, was the accident happened? How did you take the child to the hospital? About the child name, child age, was the procedures been taken, and is he gone back to the nursery or not after that, or did his family collect him? When did he go back to school again? Was he feeling better? All this you need to. So if I was going to answer this question, I would say type of forms I would fill for the incident, which is incident form, has got the child name, child age, the incident happened, when, where, how it happened, what's the conclusion, and was it needed a medical attention or not. And also for incidents, just say we have a form in the nursery to fill when there's any incident happening. So I can put the child name, child age, when it was reported, when it happened, was the conclusion, did the child needed a medical attention or not, and then what happened after that. And in case of emergency, there is a form to fill where you put the child name, child age, and was the emergency happened, and how did you manage to take the child? Did you take him straight away to the A&E, or did you see the first aid person? Did his parents come in? All this information need to be recorded in this form. Okay? Now explain procedures for receiving, storing, recording, administrating, and the safety disposal of medication in the early child care. So what's this procedure? How you can store, record, and administer the medication for the child, and how you can dispose them. So that's 9.2. Let us go back to the book. 9.2. Okay, we are here. So in most early year setting, medication should be administered when a potential consent form has been signed and clear instruction has been given and recorded. So first of all, in the early years setting, you need to have consent. Consent from whom? From the child parents. Tells you exactly what the type of medication the child needs, when to take it, how to take it. All this, that the parents should provide information. So in most early years setting, the medication should be managed on this procedure, getting the parent consent, so they can tell you, give you instruction about how to record it, about all the information needed about these medication, how should be given to the child and everything. Second thing, all parents and carers should be made aware of the setting policy on keeping medication and how it will be sorted and administrated when the medications are given to the setting. So first of all, you need to get consent from the child parents about how to deal with these medication, when to give them to the children, how to give them to the children. Number two, the parents and you as a carer, you need to know more about the policy and procedure, where to keep the medication and how to keep them, how to store them. That is very, very important. And also medication must be stored in its original containers. So if you have a look in the cupboard, you know straight away what you're looking for. You can find it. You don't mix it with other medications. Okay? And also each medication will have the name of the child, because it has a prescription for a specific child. So you need to keep the medication so you can find it easily, and you can find the name of the child on the medication. All medication should be kept locked away or stored safely in a fridge until it is needed. So it should be saved or stored in a proper area until it's needed. And you must not administer any medications to children unless consent form have been signed. Without signed consent, you should never give any child any medication, even if they need it. They have to give you consent because it's very dangerous to give medication without consent from the parents. The correct documentation must be completed each time medication is given to a baby or child. So correct documentation. So straight away you need to write all the details. When did you give the child, when and how many of the tablets needs to be recorded. All medication should be kept in a setting, should be reviewed regularly. Just in case the child would not need this medication no longer. They need it for a specific time. But if they are long-term medication, and if they have any education, health care plan, then more information should be given to the carers. So always we need to check and review each of medication regularly, just to check how many, because some of the medication, the doctor will say 2 tablets every day until for a week, for example. There are so many more tablets in the tin, but you don't need to give it to him. That's it. You need to give him what the doctor has written, has put on the prescription. So for the child, just 1 week medication, and that's it. So you need to make sure to check the medication, review them regularly. And also medication should not be stored after its expiry date. So if it is expired, you need to get rid of them and inform the parents beforehand so they can go and bring new medication if the child needs to still to have some more. All medication must be disposed of correctly and safely. So you don't throw it straight away to the bin. There is a certain type of bins to put the medication in. So now, if I was going to answer this question, explain a procedure for receiving, storing, and recording medication, I will put all these points, which is, where is it? 9.2. In most of early years setting, medication should be administered when a potential consent is being provided by the parents. So for me, I would never give any medication to any child without a consent from his parents. All parents and carers, they need to know there is what the policy and procedure is being put in place regarding medication. Also, medication must be stored in original packaging or original containers, which it has the child's name, how many times they should take the medication is very important. All medication should be also kept in lockers or fridge, depending on how it should be stored until we need them next time. You must not give any medication without consent. The correct documentation, then you have to document, to write in a document how many times you have given this tablets to what's the child name, when he taken it, and how did he take it. All this information you need to put it in a record. Also, all medication should be kept, should be reviewed regularly. And if there is any medications being expired, you should get rid of them. And all medication should be disposed correctly and safely. Is this understood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now we need just to do the 2 more left, which is, I'm sorry, I know your time is up, but we will do this fast is important so we can finish everything.
Okay.
So now when you see this reflective account, you start talking about yourself. First of all, I'll put my name here, and then when I get here, I will answer this about myself. So use equipment, furniture, and materials safely following the manufacturer instruction and settings requirements. So for you, how to use equipment, furniture, materials according to the manufacturer instructions. Okay, so that's 5.1. Let's go back. Can you think about answer to this question?
No.
Where is 5.2? Is it 5.1? 5.1. So where is 5.1? That's 8. We passed so much. Okay. So the use of equipment, furniture, and materials safely following the manufacturer's instructions and setting requirements. So how you answer this question?
It has to be fit for use and checked in line.
Exactly. So in my setting, all the equipments we use should be always fit for purpose. They should also follow the guideline with the European safety requirement. If I discover anything broken or any material was faulty and could not be working again, you should just get rid of it. Put it in a storage until it's been fixed. Don't put it on display. Also, you need I'm always responsible for reporting and labeling the equipment if they were faulty in my work area. And always make sure there is a risk assessment being taken to use these equipments. This is the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So to answer this question, as I told you, because it's in the red area, reflective account, then I talk about myself. I say in my nursery where I work, all the equipment, furniture, materials should be all fit for purpose. If there is any machine in the nursery, I don't use it only for the purpose it's being used for normally. And also make sure that all these machines are following the European safety requirements. If I discover anything broken or anything cannot be used again, I put it in the storage, label it so the maintenance guy will know, the maintenance person would know and fix it. Maybe inform the children. You remember when we said we need to speak to the children about the danger of using these faulty materials because they are growing and might use faulty materials at home as well. So it's good to inform them. And make sure there is a risk assessment before using these equipments. Now, and always you talk, me, myself, in my nursery, in my setting. So you always, because it's reflective, so you reflect on your own work. Last question, encouraging children to be aware of personal safety and the safety of others. What do you do? How are you encouraging children to be aware of their safety and safety of others?
Yeah, I think we need to talk to them. They will understand what's the dangers around them.
Excellent.
Depend on their age.
Very good, because we said in a bit earlier, we said that the children are growing and they need more information. Otherwise, they might hurt themselves, they might hurt others. So we need to make sure that we talk to them about the danger of using these faulty equipments and what could how much harm they could get, and maybe also harm the other people who's around them. So you always talk to these kids. They are growing. They might not understand you first time, but slowly, when you keep telling them about the danger of using, for example, the electric items. So here, how you talk about yourselves, just say, in my setting, to answer this question, 5.2, you say, I always make sure to encourage the children to be aware of their personal safety and other safety by telling them if there is any a faulty machine or any equipment could be dangerous for them. Also, when the cleaner do any mopping, I always tell them that the wet floor would be dangerous for them because it could be slippery, it could harm them. So they should take more care of it. Also, if their hands are dirty, they shouldn't touch the food because it's dangerous for them. They should go and wash their hands. And like, just to bring any examples. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just say the children, I always, for example, can you think about another example? Let us just go to Google, get more examples, sorry. Like here, if you go to Google, for example, take a step back. If approached by a car, like you need to tell them. If you see cars in the street, you should always hold to your mom's hands. You shouldn't cross the street on your own. You shouldn't go outside the nursery by yourself or by outside the house by yourself. You should always, even this one, I always tell the children I take care of to remember the phone number for their parents, just in case an accident happened and or they got lost. So they need to remember the full name for their parents. I always ask them to remember the full name, the full phone number for their parents. I should always warn them that when there's any street crossing, they should stop. They should look left or right. Just give any examples. I'll be happy with more examples. Yeah? Is this understood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Just when you talk about this, you need to talk about it to say, I do this. So just say, in my own setting, I always encourage the children I take care of to be aware of their personal safety and also others' safety. And then you start talking about the faulty equipment. I always talk to them about the faulty equipment. They shouldn't touch it because it's dangerous for their lives, for other people who sitting in the same room. When they are crossing the street, they shouldn't run because their parents, they might be running behind them and the car might hit them or hit their parents. That's danger for both of them. They should be very quiet, waiting for the street to be empty while they are standing with their parents. Hold on to your parents' hands, look left, look right. If there is any medication, you shouldn't take it on the table, because unless their parents or the child, like I come to give it to you or your parents give it to you, you shouldn't take it from the table and eat it. It's dangerous. If your hands are dirty, if their hands are dirty, I always encourage them to go and wash it, because it's dangerous to eat the food with their hands dirty. Maybe they touch their eyes. After they play in the garden, they should always go and wash their hands. Something like this. Just give any examples. Tell us about your practice, how to encourage the kids to be safe. So until here, are we all both all happy with the answers? Are we all ready now to go and start working on our coursework?
Yeah, for me, yes.
Excellent. This is what I need. So please, if you need anything, I'm going to send you this recorded video, link to it. You click on the link, open it, and maybe get bits and pieces. Like stop wherever you need to stop, start doing your coursework, and then go back to watch the rest of the video, stop, and then do question by question until you're done, as if you have the you have done your coursework inside the class. Yeah?
Yeah.
If you need any help, please, as I told you, I'm available 9 to 5, even in the weekend. Every day, 9 to 5. Don't hesitate. I send you a link straight away and we discuss anything you think is difficult or you can't manage it. Everything in the book, as we've seen. So there is no really difficulties. If you think the book is too long or not answered properly, then fine. Go to Google and look for more answers, but don't copy and paste. Most important thing is to write it in your own way, because you don't need to be accused of plagiarism. It's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for attending, and I hope you enjoyed the class. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.